Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today for our training session. I'm going to give everybody just about a minute to join in, and then we're going to get started. I'll be able to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what we're going to do today. So, my name is Sandra Clemens. I am an acting training specialist here with Amazon. And a little bit about me. I have been with Amazon. September will be 6 years. I started out as a seasonal associate, just like most of you. And after my initial period, I went permanent. I worked in the reserves department, and then within the reserves department, I was involved in a program called Thrive program. It's a leadership program that assists you in taking next steps to be part of leadership. After the Thrive program in 2020, I took on an acting team manager role and did that for most of 2020. I worked with new hires, and it was a really fun experience. It was fun to see everybody from start, just here fresh to Amazon, not knowing much about the company, to learning what they're supposed to do on a daily basis, and then seeing them go out and be successful CSA. So it was pretty fun. After that role, I took on a role in our CAP department, which is the Concessions Abuse Prevention Department, and have been there ever since, until accepting these current acting roles as training specialist. And then when I leave here, I'll be going to another acting team manager role. So I'm pretty excited about the future here, the next few months with Amazon. So it's a little bit about me. I'm from North Carolina. Been married 15 years, have 3 children, and we're pretty close to the beach. So anytime we want to take a quick trip to Myrtle Beach, we can. So pretty cool. But today we're just going to do a couple of things. We're going to take some attendance, setting out a couple of expectations ahead of time. We're going to be covering slides 4 and 5 in our training. And you can ask any questions at the end that you'd like. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So today we are talking about the mystery of chocolate. Who does not love chocolate? We all do. So with this, we're going to go to fermenting the cocoa seeds, or the beans as they're like to called. Now the beans undergo a fermentation process, and part of that goal of the fermentation is to get the outer, somewhat gelatinous covering off of the beans. They are either placed in a large, shallow, heated tray or covered with banana leaves to hold in the heat. With the climate right, they may be heated by the sun, even with burlap to retain the moisture. Workers come along, they stir them up, and this allows the beans to become fermented. They turn brown, and it can take 5 to 8 days, just depending on the climate and the conditions. What's your favorite kind of chocolate? Mine is definitely dark chocolate. I currently do low sugar, low carbs, so I have to do dark chocolate, but I do sugar free. So it'd be interesting to see how they incorporate that with real cocoa, though. But what's your favorite kind of chocolate? Is it dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate? Cool to hear about all the different kinds of chocolates and what all is our favorite. I think a lot of it depends on where you're from too, based on what you like. So pretty neat. We're going to move on to drying the beans. This is the last step before they're shipped out. They're covered and heated. Do lots of hand circulation for 5 to 8 days. After the fermentation, the cocoa seeds must be dried before they can be scooped into sacks and shipped to chocolate manufacturers. In the simplest of scenarios, farmers spread them out and leave them in the sun to dry. If the conditions aren't correct, the sun drying, they might have to use a drying machine. And these aren't the same configurations as a roasting machine. The goal is to get the moisture out of the beans without roasting them. Sun drying process usually takes about a week, and the results are about half of their original weight. It's pretty neat to see that a lot of them are, it's moisture, but drying that out makes a big difference. And the drying process, it can take as little as of a day. Can you think of any other valued crop that might go under the same or a similar process? Like coffee beans, fava beans. Pretty cool to think about other processes. But that is the conclusion for our training today. So I just wanted to say thank you for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Just let us know. You'll have this information accessible if you'd like to access it for further use. Have a good day.